Amy and Andrew got a letter from their landlord telling them to get out after they called police and the Department of Neighborhood Services. We found this isn't the first time someone's had issues with this landlord.
So the mold coming up from everything.
Andrew Cannon and Amy Renassi are fed up with the problems at the duplex they rent on 48th Street.
Issues with trash, issues with flooding in our basement, and other code issues.
They say the problem started when new people moved in upstairs, and their landlord, Nicholas Resney, didn't help.
The only way that there's to communicate with the LLC is through an online app.
So they called police and the Department of Neighborhood Services several times. Online records show orders issued for overflowing garbage, the exterior of the building in disrepair, and basement flooding. The couple also called Alderman Michael Murphy, who says this is not the first call he's gotten about Resney.
I've heard complaints from tenants expressing that he's not responsive, that he's been argumentative and not helpful.
Alderman Murphy calls Resney a problem landlord.
He's not taking care of the building code violations. And we have to spend a lot of money and time with our inspectors going back out there and back out there.
Resney has dozens of properties around the city. CBS 58 Investigates got a list of 40 properties that trace back to him. He uses more than 20 different LLCs, but almost all have the same registered agent with the state, Pay My Rent 5, which is registered to Resney's wife, Emma. City records show complaints and violations at many of those properties, including rats, litter, work being done without a permit, roach infestation, and building in disrepair. Similar to the complaints Amy and Andrew had, but problems got worse for them.
Friday, after I spoke with the alderman on the phone, I checked our mail and we received a termination of our lease notice with 28 days to move.
Why do you think you're being evicted?
It's retaliation for contacting neighborhood services, for contacting the police.
Alderman Murphy says he's seen landlords retaliate, but it's illegal.
There's a number of things we can do, and I'm going to use them all in this case. But sometimes, when you have a situation like this, the landlord can wear down good tenants, and then we lose them.
And the alderman says it's not just Resney. Milwaukee has several problematic landlords.
Bad landlords can have a real mitigating impact of causing huge problems in our community. It impacts their children in terms of going to different schools, impacts the quality of life in the neighborhood.
CBS 58 Investigates went to Resney's business address and home. We finally reached him by text, but he would not comment on the record. Because of all the problems at the 48th Street duplex, police declared it a nuisance property earlier this month, and Resney could face fines for future calls to the home. Meanwhile, Andrew and Amy say while they don't think they deserve to be kicked out, they are moving because they don't feel safe in their home.
We had no clue that this is the person that we were renting from.
Yeah. Alderman Murphy says before you rent, look into the landlord and check with neighbors and the neighborhood association. And if you have problems, there are resources. The Department of Neighborhood Services, police, and your alderman. There is also legal help available for tenants. Reporting in studio, Kristen Barbarisi, CBS 58 News.